Well, they're still working on the house. The cabinet guy hasn't gotten here yet. He should be here this week. It's Memorial Day weekend. I got another trip. Last year we did our Acadia, and Amanda said this year she wanted to go to the Grand Canyon. We have reservations at the North Rim and the South Rim, so it's time to go. Well, the goal is to show you the Grand Canyon, but we'll have to do that next video. We stopped at so many places. We headed out 40, and once we got across Memphis and across the bridge, we headed on up to 70 to take the northern route to the Grand Canyon and head on up to Moab, where we could see some of the parks. Our first stop was Acadian Moon Winery and Brewery in Higginsville, Missouri. I joined Harvest Host just for this trip, and it paid off. The brewery was very nice relaxing evening. Had dinner, couple drinks, and beautiful setting. That evening we had a beautiful sunset. Unfortunately, the next day, once we hit Colorado, the weather changed. We were in for some rain. We got here just in time before the thunderstorm. Harvest Host location, the Prairie Ridge Buffalo Ranch. This is going to be interesting. We're somewhere, Lyman, Colorado. Anyway. Here comes the storm, so I got to be quick with this. But there's the buffalo. I guess these are the Asian buffalo. These are smaller. Anyway, time to get back to the trail. Well, as quick as it started raining, it stopped. It blew over, and I got out and got to see the buffalo again. Amanda's out running around with the owner of the place. She's having a ball. This is right up her alley. The next morning, we started our ascent into the Rockies. We went from just over 5,000 feet in Limon, Colorado, to well over 11,000 feet at the Eisenhower Tunnel on 70. It's quite the climb. The poor old diesel and Allison transmission got a workout. But we made it to Moab, and once in Moab, we found an RV park, dumped the RV, and headed right over to Arches. Luckily, we got to Arches later that first afternoon, and at 4 o'clock, the gate ticket takers go home. So you could just drive in, no fee, go figure. Before that, you have to have a timed entry and, of course, pay your $30 a carload. We were fortunate. We saw a lot of the park that first day. Our second day in Moab, first night we stayed at a little RV park there in Moab. Wasn't much. It was basically a parking lot. $60 a night. But today we pulled over to the Goose Island BLM property just off the Colorado River here, and we're off this cliff. Beautiful. And we drove through, and it's first come, first serve. There's I don't know, dozen sites, maybe a little more, and it's some tents, but you can see there's RVs in here, and of course the ones along the river are really packed. But we were lucky enough to find a car camper that's leaving this morning, and so we're just waiting to get that site. We think we'll go in tonight again. We'll visit Island in the Sky today, and then tonight we'll go back into Arches and do the sunset Delicate Arch hike. It's about 3 miles, so that'll be fun. So, but I'm really excited about this campground. It's $20 a night. With your El Senor card, your National Park Senior Pass, you can get it for $10 a night. So for 2 nights, this will do us fine to go visit a few of the parks around here, and then we're going to head over to the Needles District of Canyonlands. But what a setting! Canyonlands doesn't have timed entry, but it's still it's 10:30, and it's a half an hour wait to get in. So it won't be long before they have timed entry. The arch, we'll get a closer view of that. But look at the view. Well, the short hike to the Mesa Arch was certainly worth it. Fantastic scenery and views, and a bright, sunny, little warm day. There's the Grand View Overlook. It's impressive. Somewhere out there, the Green and the Colorado rivers meet. Must be down in that gorge down there. They've carved all this out of the sandstone. Amazing. Took a short hike, about a mile, to the upheaval dome overlook. They're still trying to figure out what caused this. The theory is that it's a meteorite and or some kind of salt dome explosion or eruption. But they're claiming now they're leaning more towards a meteorite. The Green River Overlook. Spectacular. It just goes on forever. Well, this is the Schaefer Canyon Overlook. I'm trying to figure out what these guys, how they get on that service trail there, and they're driving their Jeeps and stuff around. I don't know, you could do that. This is the other side of the Schaefer Canyon. I believe that's Dead Horse Point State Park, directly in front of us there. There's some trail roads going off over in that direction. Well, we left Island and Sky and headed back to Arches to do the Delicate Arch evening hike, about 3.5 miles. Well, we got to be about 3/4 of the way. Man, his legs start. Was your leg, your foot? Foot's starting to bother. But there's the parking lot back there. You can see the sun glinting off the cars. So we're almost there. But we still had about a half a mile of this stuff. So better safe than sorry. We got a lot of walking yet to do. The next morning we were up and headed to Needles. Saw this guy along the way. Good morning. We're on our way into Canyonlands Needles district, and I love the ride in. Our first stop here was newspaper rock petroglyphs. The petroglyphs date from before Christ to about 1300 AD. The long ride into Canyonlands Needles district is spectacular, and it's all part of Bears Ears National Memorial that stretches from Canyonlands down in Arizona. Once in the park, and there was no backup to get into this one, no timed entry here, one car in front of us. We proceeded to the first stop, which was the Wooden Shoe Arch. Just quiet out here. Could hear that bee that just flew by. I keep expecting to see a wagon train or John Wayne riding out of the canyon, or the cavalry chasing the Indians. It's just spectacular. Another good look at the Needles, for which the park is named, from Pothole Rock. Call that one a butte, a mesa, but actually one of them is Islands in the Sky that we were at yesterday. It's probably that big one right there. And then one of them's Horseshoe, Dead Horse Point State Park. And then Moab off over somewhere. Cowboy cattle camp. Back when they used to run cattle through here. Fencing posts for their horse. Box springs. Lap of luxury. The dark wood from where they had the campfires. But that was smoky in there.
With the leather straps.
Something for the horses, I guess. And Cave Spring. I guess you could fill a couple of canteens up in there. Roadside Ruin Trail was a short little hike, about a quarter mile, and those guys were used for storage or ceremonial purposes. Well, this is our campsite. Pretty spectacular. It's BLM. I'll have to get you. Hey, Amanda, what was this place? What was the name of this place?
Foothills, maybe?
Something Foothills? Red Foothills? Something. It's off of 162 west of 191. I'll get you the name. Okay, Amanda just found it. Footbridge BLM Camping. Well, we made it over to Hovenweep National Monument. I'm not real sure what this is all about. I think Hovenweep is the most symbolic of the places in the Southwest. It gives me the feeling similar to what I felt when I was participating in ceremonies which required a tacit recognition of realities other than the blatantly visual. Wow. Well, Hovenweep is an abandoned village, several abandoned villages of the Pueblo peoples. Hovenweep monument consists of 6 abandoned villages. This is the easiest one to get to. And this is the Stronghold House. I know that because I'm standing here reading the sign. And across is the Twin Towers. Then there's the Rim Rock House. Eroded boulder house there below it. And then Tower Point. And the castle. I didn't know the Pueblo did castles.
I didn't either.
I thought that was the Europeans. Okay. Since it was early in the day and we were in the area, we figured we'd go in, take in Mesa Verde National Park. We drove through and saw, as you'll see, saw a lot of the cliff dwellings and got a little bit of the history of the native peoples that inhabited the area. The park exhibits show the first homes that were built, dug into the earth and covered by wood roofs, to the Feiyu exhibit, and then on to the cliff dwellings. With 150 rooms and 21 kivas, the Cliff Palace was something to see.
Right there.
Oh, right
Look
there.
right there. Look right there on that.
We missed that.
Yeah.
What's that?
Straight across from us.
Right there, huh? All those little things standing up.
Yeah, that's a building.
There is. I think that goes into the rocks. There's some places.
Where are you talking
Oh,
where-
wow.
Straight that way.
That
At
is
the-
one
at the
narrow
mid
ledge.
seam.
I can see the mid. Yeah, those little buildings right there. Yeah.
That square one above
And then
that
right
is
above
called the
that
Mummy
is
House.
Mummy House.
Here's some more views looking across the canyon. In a little bit, we'll be on the other side of the canyon, looking back the other way. There were houses and cliff dwellings throughout this canyon and ruins. Across there, you can see what look like windows, and that's the house of many windows. Well, that's the Sun Temple that across the way we were looking at from right over there. Or actually right over there. And he was calling it Mummy's house. But it's a Sun Temple. It's actually built on top, not underneath the cliffs. The Feiyu community was interesting. You could walk around and see the ruins. They were built up on top. They were the second generation. They were built after the ruins that were found that they just dug into the earth and covered them with some type of roof. The next morning we hooked up the RV and drove over to the Natural Bridges National Monument. That's the second largest bridge
Yeah, in the United States.
in the United States, natural bridge.
The other one, the biggest one's Rainbow Bridge in Bryce Canyon.
In Bryce Canyon, okay. And this one we really can't get a good angle at. To get a good angle, we need to be over there. But so much for that idea. There were trails heading down to all these bridges. We certainly could get a better view, but we were in a drive-through mode and heading to the Grand Canyon.
Oh, there's the rock formation for which the bridge is named for. There.
That's the...
Looks like a pile of poop.
No, it's a beehive. There's the bridge. It's almost camouflaged. It took me a minute to... Actually, it took Amanda a minute to find it. I still hadn't found it until she pointed it out.
There's a big crack in it, too.
Yeah, it's not going to last long. And off to the east, see if I can get you off to the east, is the Bear's Ears. This pair of buttes is where Bear's Ears got its name from. The national monument is huge. It covers over 1.3 million acres. After visiting natural bridges, we headed south on 162 in Utah towards Arizona and the Monument Valley. We came across a spot in a road where there were dozens of people standing around, and then it dawned on us that's where Forrest Gump stopped running in his movie. And there it is, Monument Valley. Yesterday, after taking in the Natural Bridges Monument, we drove to Jacob Lake Campground. We stopped in Page, Arizona. It's 98 degrees right by the dam. The Beehive BLM camping right out in the sun. I thought, no way. So we continued on here, headed towards the North Rim. We ended up at this place, a forest campground. What is it, Jacob Lake? 26 bucks a night, 13 bucks with your El Senor card. Very nice campground. All the ponderosa pines, shaded. We got here, it was, I don't know, 74, 75 degrees. It was 49 degrees last night. It was just perfect. Had to shut the windows. Snuggled up under the comforters. So we're going to stay here again tonight. Oh, and it's got phone service. So we have some internet and phones and clean restrooms. No hookups, but for what do you expect for 13 bucks a night? Clear blue sky today. We're going to go explore around this area a little bit today, and then tomorrow we'll head to the North Rim. Yeah, this is our little campsite here. I started the generator up and let it charge up the batteries. We've been going for it's 4 days on the batteries, and they're still at 40%. Figured I'd use this opportunity to charge them up because we're going to be at the North Rim with no hookups for another 2 days, and here for another day, so that'd be another 3 days, and I'll have to run it again. It's the lithium batteries. They're the way to go. Especially if you do a lot of dry camping like this. We're at the North Rim of the Grand Canyon next, so stay tuned. A lot of good scenery.